The contents of this box could well be the biggest potential disruptor to the cycling world. So what we have here is L2's first electronic hydraulic disc brake group set. So L2 is one of a growing number of Chinese component manufacturers trying to muscle in to a group set market that's currently dominated by the big three, well, two really, Shimano, SRAM, and to a lesser extent Campag. But there has been a lot of excitement around Chinese companies like L2 coming to market with cheaper and more affordable offerings. So when it came out, I put an order in and it arrived some time later. So for full transparency, I have actually bought and paid for the group set myself from AliExpress, and it cost me £600 delivered to my door here in the UK with no import duties or any issues at customs, thankfully, because Brexit has been a bit of a nightmare on that front. So before I do an old-fashioned unboxing and give you a close look at the components inside the box, I'll give you a sneak peek, shall I? Oh, there we go, not too much. And then put it all on the scales and give my first impressions and then get it built onto a bike. Let's talk about the price. So I mentioned £600, and that sounds like a really, really good price. And it is. That price does not include a chain set, a chain, cassette, and disc brake rotors. So is it as good value as it seems? Well, by the time you add on those extra components, the price does go up by £200 or £300 depending on what parts you go for. Now, I did a bit of shopping around for group set prices just now, and the cheapest group set from Shimano with electronic shifting, 105 Di2, retails here in the UK for £1,700, but I've seen it on offer for just over £900. And I reckon by the time you add all the extra components you need to the group set from L2, you're probably close to £850, £900, so on a par with Shimano 105 Di2. There's also SRAM Rival Access as well, which is £1,400 at retail, but I've seen it on offer at £1,000, so about the same price of 105 Di2. And two group sets I've used extensively over the last 2 years or so, and really the benchmark for the group set. Is the group set as good as or better than Shimano and SRAM's cheapest, most affordable electronic offerings? That's really the question to answer when I get this on a frame and built up and see how it performs. But before that, let me do an unboxing, give you a first look, give my first impressions of the group set, and put all the parts on the scales and see how we get on. Right, let's do this then. This is the packaging. It comes in a nice big box. You can buy it without the packaging if you want, but I think you want the box it comes in. And there we are. There's a group set in all its glory, all packaged away. So let's start with the levers and the shifters. These are the star of the show, really. And there is the left shifter, and here is the right shifter. And there are the shifters. So they are similar to Shimano Di2 with the two buttons behind the brake levers there. Nice textured feeling on the paddle there and smooth on that one, so you can tell which is which for going up and down the gears. Quite a tall hood there. That bit there is a bit taller than Shimano Di2, a bit more like SRAM. Nice carbon fibre levers. There is a cheaper version without carbon, but it looks pretty snazzy. Nice gold graphics on the levers there as well. So first impressions are good. Feels nice in the hands, nice shape, pretty good ergonomics. Quite a chunky lever compared to Di2. The buttons don't feel too bad really. So yeah, I'm not too disappointed with that. Actually, pretty good. Doesn't feel cheap or inferior in any way really. And if it said Shimano or SRAM on it, you probably would be none the wiser. So those are the shifters. Put those to one side and we'll weigh them in a moment as well. So down here, brake hoses, so brake calipers, so the hydraulic disc brake setup. These are the same as the current group set, so no change here. Nice black gold decals, cooling fins on the brake pads there. Just a spacer there for pads, so they come attached, so hopefully minimal bleeding will be needed to install these. So there's one, and there's the second one. So it looks really nice. So front and rear brakes. And then we have the front derailleur. And there we are. So quite a chunky, quite a squared off design there. Definitely looks more of a Gen 1 than Gen 2 or Gen 3 design that. But functional rather than elegant. So there is a front mech. And this small bit of tape here to help you set up the front derailleur over the chain rings, get the height just right for perfect shifting. So the front mech. And then in here we have the rear derailleur. Let's have a look. Look at that. Again, black, gold decals and some snazzy carbon fibre down there. Small pulley wheels, no oversized nonsense here. And that again, it looks like Shimano Di2. Got the high-low adjustment screws on there. Oh, that's something I missed on the front mech actually. There's no high-low adjustment screws on here at all. So I guess you do all the adjustment of the front mech, barring the height, through the app. But on the rear derailleur, we do have a high-low adjustment on it. So quite a chunky unit off the rear mech here. And the charge port on this rear derailleur is just here, this small exposed pin here, no cover on that at all. That's the cable or wire, shall I say, to connect it to the battery and the front derailleur. So that is the rear derailleur, compatible with up to an 1132 cassette according to the company's website. So put that on the scales in a moment. Then we have the battery, which looks very similar, almost identical to a Shimano Di2 battery. 2-pin connection on the bottom. And we have the charge cable, should be one of these here. So a USB lead, USB-A, not USB-C. And that's the charge port there, just a small RAM connection plug there. And that goes onto there with a magnet. So you can see that just connected onto it. A bit worried about that being exposed to the elements. Hopefully that's okay. So that's the charge cable. And these are the wire to connect the front and rear derailleur to the battery and get it all up and running. I'll demonstrate here. So one end goes onto there like so. On this end there's a small arrow to line it up correctly, and that goes just there, just so that lights flash on. So there is some charge in the battery, nothing connected yet, so they won't operate just yet. So that is the group set, and in here we have a box of bits, so brake adapters, lots of bolts and olives. What you are missing from this box, of course, is the chain, cassette and chain set, or crank set if you prefer, and disc brake rotors as well. So a few bits missing from this box. Now I'll move this to one side and we'll get the scales out and see what it all weighs. Okay, been to the kitchen, got the scales out, and let's start with the rear derailleur first. 289 grams. And then the front derailleur next. 139 grams. The battery. 86. And then the left shifter. 253. And the right shifter. A bit lighter. And then the brake caliper with the hose attached. 205. And we'll do the rear brake as well. 150 grams. So there we go. My first experience of a group set from one of the new Chinese players in the group set market. And I have to say, I'm really impressed with what I'm seeing here. For a first gen electronic group set, it seemed pretty good. But it has to be said, it is really a Shimano Di2 copy. And how it got around the patents, I have no idea. I guess they run out. But Shimano must be a bit miffed that the group set is such a direct copy. Right, all that remains for me to do now is put the group set on a frame once I've decided what frame to put the parts on. I'm not sure yet. I'm thinking possibly my giant TCR Advance, which I've had SRAM rival on for the last 2 years. That might be a good donor bike. And I'll go and do that. And over the next few weeks, get testing and see how it performs. And the weather here in the UK right now is very wet and very horrible. So ideal for testing components like this. Anyway, if you want to see that video coming up in the next few weeks, make sure you hit the subscribe button down below. Your support means so much to me and allows me to do videos like this. And if you've got any questions or your experience of the group set, then feel free to leave a comment down below. But that's all for today. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you all again very soon.